has a substitute ever had more impact more quickly on a match than that?
The always on the edge of your seat whenever Canoville got the ball was fantastic.
Nothing comes better than being a professional footballer, being able to travel, being able to show the world how good a player you are. It's unbelievable.
Paul's pace and his power were his best attributes. More often than not, you find a lot of players, and even today, lots of pace. Some of them even get good power. But if you've got both of them, you usually don't have good skill either. Usually you have 2 out of 3 of them. Paul had all 3. He could actually do really good, skillful work while going at top pace.
The abuse he suffered or the reasons he had to leave, coupled with all the other things that go on in his world, then to get cancer, to fight it, beat it, then get it again. You know, I think his is a story that must be told.
I did receive a lot of racism in particular games away.
Tottenham come down, Bill Nicholson, the legendary Bill Nicholson, wanted to sign Paul, but he decided to join Chelsea.
That was a big London club, Chelsea Football Club. Oh, gosh, proud, dreams, made it. Not made it yet, but made it as a professional. I'm signed.
Paul should be acknowledged a lot more for what he's done in shutting down and changing the way people see Chelsea Football Club. 20, 30 years ago, the fans wasn't renowned for being the cosmopolitan fans, renowned as being racist fans that didn't like their own, even if they was black.
First half, it was more or less even, 0-0. I kept looking at this right back and thinking, man, boy, he's slow. If I ever get on there, I know I can do. Come out second half, and still after 15, 20 minutes, still 0-0. And that's when I got the shower. I said, Cannons, man, go and get warmed up. I remember I couldn't hear the crowd, but I could, because right now I just want to get on quickly. But first of all, let's stretch. Starting to warm up. I remember having my back towards the fans, and I started hearing this abuse, this racist abuse being shouted, and I thought, boy, Crystal Palace fans are they're really shocking. Monkey, go back to your own country, and I was like, are they really for real? And I was ignoring it. I was just to and fro down that line with my back against them. And there was words that was coming out I just didn't like. I couldn't take it no more. I was, what? So I turned around to who's calling me? Say it to my face. And that's when it set back. I was, whoa. What? I just realized that it wasn't Crystal Palace fans. It was my own fans. And I could not believe it. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, that close. It was hard to take. Boy, why would you want to play for a racist side like that? It wasn't a racist side. I had to think about that. It was just some ignorant fans. After making my debut, the racism got worse. In particular games I was playing, there was fans turning up with pillowcases over their head representing Ku Klux Klan.
One game we scored a hat-trick, and the bloke sat next to me with his mates. They were like cheering him on, and then, there's once he didn't control the ball properly, and they would get up and they wouldn't just say, like, you'd get up frustrated with your own player, but it was always like, there'd be like an ethnic prefix, oh, you're black, so-and-so, this silly, black this. And I remember thinking, that's a bit odd, but then they go, what a goal, hey, isn't he brilliant, he's fantastic. Right.
I didn't want to leave Chelsea. A situation happened. It was one of their favourites, called me a racist name. He was looked as a favourite at Chelsea. I wasn't. Next day, I was received a phone call saying that Paul not to return back to the ground or the training ground.
There's one player that Paul had a battle with, a fight with, physical fight. And it was after he was basically called the N-word quite a few times. But there was some people that thought that was, in the 80s, that's accepted. The player tried to attack Paul. Very soon afterwards, Paul left the club and he didn't. And I was fuming.
Let's be honest, when it comes to the topic of racism, everyone takes a back seat. No one really knows how to approach it. And we find that now, you know, 20 years after Paul has retired, the whole topic of racism, no one really knows how to approach it. And it's you know, I don't like using the word, but it's a cancer in football that, you know, we don't deal with things how it should be dealt with.
Yeah, for me, you know, that's the third time I watch it. Funny, man, I cry. I was in there, it's like, fucking hell, because it gets to that part where that music is, those guys, how they did that music, how the fuck did you do that music? It's a drama. Dun, 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 dun. And then the part with me and my kids, and like, fucking tear was coming. He saw me and I was like, trying not to fucking tear, and I was giving it like that, and I'm trying, and they got the little kid next to me. Why are you crying? Fuck you. I was like, you know. Yeah, that's only the third time, seriously. I played it when I went to Australia. Went to Australia first time, bloody hell, Q&As, I was killing. I had to walk out, I had to come out. I said, what's wrong? I said, I can't see that film. I get too much and I cry until they finished. I had big men coming out. I said, fucking hell, Paul, so sorry. He was crying. They said, I'm so sorry, I didn't realise what you was going through. So, yeah, that's what it done to me. You know what? I was really, really hurt. I was hurt. I didn't show people I was, because I didn't want them to see that weakness. And what was really hurt, that I had to leave the club instead of that individual who was wrong. And that's where I thought the club should have really supported me, and they didn't. And that showed, yeah, that really did kind of make me feel like, towards everybody else, kind of harsh. I wasn't about to take anything from nobody. I didn't care what he was, because of that situation. And that's what arised really for me, because I really thought, why, hold on, I didn't do nothing wrong. Why am I thrown out? Now, yeah, he was a big player, but what, if a big player can take refuge and disrespect another player racially, and you as a club ain't seen that, something's wrong. I don't care if it's money, something's wrong. So going to Reading, don't get me wrong, it was Brentford and Reading, it was a nice community. Everybody got on together, it was like, I fit in right away. It was just so unfortunate that I got injured, but I kept so quiet about this, I didn't even complain. I just went to Reading like nothing happened. And I know I could have told my story, whether who to anybody, but that wasn't me. Integrity, I think. And that's what's hurt when growing up, when something like that at Chelsea, and they didn't do nothing. When I was in the right, that really did, yeah, it changed me up a bit, don't get me wrong, but I didn't linger with it, and don't get me wrong, I just got on with it. Football is football, and I just wanted to play football, so I know quite a few, some people still hinge of it, the racism that they took, but I think we've got to move on to that. It's what we do now. And that's what I said. No, I think there was and there wasn't. We didn't, because it wasn't seen like that black power business, like, yeah, man, doing well, but you know what I mean? Look at your rights. It wasn't like that at all. I think the more it was the respect for each other, where we've been and where we've achieved and where we are now. And that's how we saw it, don't get me wrong. Any time we got together, it was like, yeah, how's it going? Yeah, it's been good, you know, but you can do better. And that's how it was. Nobody just said, nah, man, we got to get together, man. Nah, they're taking the P with us. Nah, it was nothing like that. Football, your team, don't get me wrong. I'll tackle you if you Luther visit, I'll put you right out. But after the game, how's it going, Luther? Everything cool. You know what I mean? That was what it was for your team. But it was never like, yeah, malice or nothing like that. I think we all took it, and we all knew each other that was taking it as such. And we just had to get on with it. I don't think there was any organisation at that time that we could, you know what I mean, look up to or make a statement or claim. Not even a claim, just to, yeah, complain, should I say. It was amongst ourselves. And for me, I used to talk with the youth players. And the youth players, Cannons, man, how do you feel? And it's like, bruv, we've got to keep going. Because if you don't do it, you'll be out. If you don't do it, you'll be out.
and then who's going to be fighting? And that's how it was. I enjoyed my time with the youth players. I'm sharing with them. I would have started up the organisation. Trust me, I would have started up some organisation, race relations organisation, like Kick It Out, if I'd known what I know now to go back then, started it earlier. Trust me, that a time, don't get me wrong, it came when it came to Kick It Out and so forth, it came at a time. But back then they really needed it, and the black players needed some kind of support. I would have been involved, sorry, am I in that camera? Sorry. Did I shut off that camera, like casually? I would have got all the players in, like, throughout the clubs. The message would have been put to them, look, now is the time that you need to stand up and to speak out, yeah? What we're taking is not, it's disrespectful. We don't need to take that. As well as leading up to those players, because the younger players that were coming through then as well, like the Walters and so forth, even the Ian Wrights that were coming through, because that's when he was coming through after me. Those players wouldn't have to go through it. So it started off early. If I know, like you said, now what I know now to go back then, ooh, it would be big. Yeah, they would have had to listen to us. Well, I've repeated this before, and I'll keep repeating it. It's not about race. Well, it's not a stadium thing. It's not football. It's a society thing. The race has been outside from the time I was born. The time my mother came here to England, it was broad, big in your face. We wasn't looked after. We had to get on with it. In other words, if we did take it in our own hands, we was the one resorted in getting in charge and getting in trouble. The authorities now put a ban on it, or their laws, by saying racism is an offence and so forth. So what happens now? Where can they put that out without being, you know what I mean, offensive or arrested? Bring it to the stadiums. That's how I see it is. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, these are people that say, I'm not racist. But you bring the stadium with racial attitude, and then you're saying you're leaving the stadium to say, I'm not racist? No, you're racist, or you're not. Simple as. You see, look, what is preventing it? You're not seen as the fellow black player who's played for a club and given so much experience to it, his life to the club and so forth, gain experience that what he can't do something in the club, involved in the club. That's what I see. Well, why is that? So the people above, people who owns, are they not seeing that the gain from this? Nah. What's that all about? I've been seeing all this Rooney rule, bringing Rooney rule. Since nothing's been done. We kept hearing this, yes, we're giving the black person, we're given a chance to gain, whether coaching or so forth. It's been talked about, but not been brought here. And I've been hearing that, how are we supposed to know anything? When it was about management, given a chance to apply for management, and that everybody should let you know that we'll give a black person or black coach a chance to manage it for the interview. You don't know if that's going to happen. Where do you know that? We don't hear that. It's always hidden. It's the same thing about investigation. What it seems like, right, and this is what we're saying, it's always asked that a black player would make note, would go through his coaching badges and gets his own A license and everything, and works up. Oh no, I'm going to start from this. This is what it was in the FA. When I came to the FA, and it's like the first time coming back to football, let's say 2004, and invited the FA to discuss, and what it was, they was going to help out with ex-black players if they needed their coaching badges. They was going to assist them with that and so forth. He said, but we don't know where they are. Why do you mean you don't know where they are? Or the data, we don't know where they live, so we can't send out. That's ridiculous. You as the FA, you don't know where these old... No, I'm sorry. Because I know they would have taken that opportunity. Don't get me wrong, some of us weren't wealthy, some of us did well. But, you know, to know that we could have get help to taking our coaches' badges, if I knew as the FA would have paid for it, we'd love that, because it wasn't just to get the job in the football, but it was to give something back in the community. And if that was to help me, I would have done that. But it's lost. I feel so not strengthed by it, because everybody comes to me and Paul said, Paul, what do you fancy chances of getting a black boy in the cup? And I said, no. I've got to be so honest and say, I think your strength is getting your coaching badge and going to America, where you'll be appreciated. And that's how I've seen the truth, because they love, not even black, it's English coaches. I'm English. I'm a coach, but what? Oh, we'd love you here. And it's don't get me wrong, it hurts that you'd have to leave a country that you've been born, that you played football professionally for, and you can't get a job. I'd hate to say it. Yeah. I really hate to say if this was racism from the very top, because that then says I'm talking about individuals. I don't want to go down that line, but I have to say they've got to look at themselves. They really got to look at themselves hard, because you're disrespecting us. It really is, and there's people that have just done it, you know what I mean, that are going out of their way thinking that I can do something more or put something into the game, and you're not being given a chance. You're looking at it like this, and if I'm sounding racial, I'm sorry, but it's like in America, I believe, if I'm correct, the BAFTAs award, the Oscars, isn't it? And where we thought that the black actors should have won the Oscars and so forth, that they refused to go to the Oscars. Well, I see it here that the black players, present black players, ex-black players, we should get together, yeah, to stampede what's happening there, have our say, and deeply conduct. I don't want to sound like I'm not political, trust me, but a lot of our players right today can make a difference. The artists, like us, can make a difference. It doesn't take just one person. Normally says it straight, politically, he attacks them. But it needs more. And we need to keep it going, because when we just say, you hear it, oh, that was great from him, but we don't hear no more. And that's where it dies down. It needs to keep rising. We need to keep saying something, complaining something. I'm not complaining, but we need to be strong about this. So they would take heed on it and say, you know what, let's do something about this. It's not just me one, and I'm nobody. Don't get me wrong, if I was in the game now, God, would I be making such noise? I'd be constantly making noise and knocking doors. But we need to get everybody together. And I love what Sterling's done, don't get me wrong, because it is a media. Media's a very powerful thing right now. It's very powerful. So your points of work will be heard. And if you can put that across, everybody takes heed on it, and we do something together. Individually, we can't. Yeah, individually we can't, but if we stick together, then we can. The young black footballers, the Raheems, yeah, from all over in the Premier. They're just fighting it, and don't get me wrong, they've got more to say now. And most of them have more to say. There's a lot that haven't. They have received such racial incidents, but haven't said, you know what I mean, because of fear. But there's some that's been brave and been strong, and those are the ones that are standing out. We need more. We need a lot more. Put that to football. See, when you're on the pitch, it hurts them. When you play so well and score a goal, it hurts them immensely that it will turn around, because it didn't affect them. It didn't affect you. But and that's what it had to be for me, because when it was going on the pitch, my thought pattern was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to receive that same thing. But now I'm saying, look, I need to play as twice as my teammates, better than them. And that's what it was. Once I did that, that died down, and they could do the same. They've got to concentrate on one goal, and that's to get where they need to go and ignore what's around. That's ignorance. They don't know no better, and that's there to put you off with your life, your game, or anything. You've got to ignore that. Mentoring, resilience, giving them belief, direction, putting them in the right areas, or directions, should I say, when I say areas. Because being connected with other associations, and when I say that, I can be ambassador, who I am with the Guy Mascola, and they got projects that involves young youth that I can go over and say, yeah, I've got a couple of good kids that will be ideal for their project. So that's the kind of thing that the foundation does. I'm loving it. It's gone from strength to strength. I do enjoy going in schools, but I think the strength is when I go in and motivate and inspire with my school speeches. I get an impact, most definitely. And that is about the importance of their education.